Welcome back, you guys. In today's News Daily video, I'm going to discuss 3 stories today. I'm going to break down the Declan Rice reports, and I'm going to break down the updated David Alaba links. We have a ton of things to break down, discuss, and dive into. But before I get into anything, you guys, I want to say a massive shout out to eToro for sponsoring Blue Lions TV. Now, eToro sponsor a host of Premier League clubs, and for you guys that still don't know who they are, eToro is a global investment platform. Now, recently, eToro released some surveys to get an understanding behind how fans are feeling during lockdown watching their teams. Some stats that really stood out to me and I found quite interesting were the survey results focused on the top 5 clubs affected by home distractions the most. Now, for the top 5 clubs going in order, Burnley led, with Everton and Southampton coming second and third. 4th was Liverpool and 5th was Leicester City. Now, was I that surprised seeing Burnley leading this list? On the real one, it's not like Burnley's football inspires most football fans, let alone their own fans. You know, if I'm a Burnley fan, it wouldn't surprise me that you're looking for distractions left, right and centre to help you get through your games. But jokes aside, you guys, for anyone that's really interested in wanting to invest, with eToro's CopyTrader tool, this tool allows you to follow the top investors' investments automatically. When they invest, you're making the same investment automatically at no additional cost. For anyone curious, you'll find all the relevant information in the description below. And to get straight in with the first story for today, I want to discuss these David Alaba updates. Now, reports have been coming out recently claiming that Pini Zahavi, Alaba's agent, has drawn up a list of 4 clubs that he can see his client moving to. Those 4 clubs are us, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Paris Saint-Germain. At this point in time, Alaba is free to speak to clubs once it reaches January. We're literally like 3 weeks away at least, and this is going to be a massive opportunity for us to stake a claim and sign one of the best players in his position in the world, in my opinion. With Alaba, it's looking like his spell at Bayern Munich has come to an end. It seems like it was Alaba's wage demands that really put off Bayern Munich in the end, and based on reports coming out today as well, it seems like us and Real Madrid are showing the most interest to sign David Alaba, with reports even suggesting that Madrid see us as enemies, as real strong favourites to stop their chances to sign him, and it doesn't surprise me. We know that last summer, Madrid were after Kai Havertz, they weren't able to sign him, he signed for us instead, and when you pull off signings like this, you're making a massive statement in Europe. Things do seem a lot more complicated though, with reports suggesting that both the Spanish clubs in Barcelona and Real Madrid, well, they're feeling the financial constraints currently. With Barcelona, we know that right now they need defenders. They have injuries to first team players. Koeman's relying on players from La Masia instead. However, it seems like the stumbling block that could potentially involve Alaba moving to Barcelona is due to how Pini Zahavi's relationships with Barcelona soured. Now, of course, when Zahavi took Neymar from Barcelona to Paris Saint-Germain, he was bound to leave some bad blood behind him, and it seems like people at Barcelona have not forgiven him. So that's one club out of the way. Moving on to Paris Saint-Germain now, reports are suggesting that Paris Saint-Germain are not in the market to sign another defender. And lastly, this leaves Real Madrid. Now, of course, they're also feeling the financial constraints at this point in time, man, and they have some potential problems on their hands as well. Now, we do know that Sergio Ramos' contract is coming to an end. If he was to sign a new deal at Madrid, it's going to be a massive, ridiculous contract, potentially meaning that Madrid would not be able to afford the wages that David Alaba wants. So it does seem like any Alaba move to Spain is going to purely depend on circumstances and the decisions that Madrid make on their current existing players. This just leaves us, and naturally Zahavi is going to push us to his client, and it's fairly obvious. We are the only club at this point in time that could afford the wage packet that Alaba wants. Yes, I know that during the summer Alaba turned us down, but at this point in time, fast forward a few months into the future, things are looking different at this club. Our style of football. We have young, exciting players. We play an exciting style of football. We have a manager that plays football in the right, positive way too. Considering that Alaba is basically a free player in the market right now, and there isn't like a strong competitive battle to make him a top signing, of course this means that Zahavi, he has to do a little meddling to garner some interest. Now, to give my thoughts and opinions, I do feel like whatever club signs Alaba, it's going to be a long-winded deal. It's going to be one of those strategic battles to sign him. And I understand the club's perspective at this point in time. We're in no position where we need to force anything. I mean, it's not like Alaba's getting tons of offers from Spain that he wants. That's not happening. Bayern Munich, they're not willing to give him a new contract. Those negotiations are dead and over. And as our season progresses and continues, we are going to be a much better team. We are going to look stronger. Public opinion from fans and players themselves are going to change surrounding us. I think for us, considering how well our defense is doing, it is really encouraging to know that a player of Alaba's stature is available in the market on a free, but with no active interest from any clubs in Alaba. We don't have to force anything. We can bide our time. We can assess the market. We have time to see how our season pans out before making the next moves for next season. And you guys know how we do business. Imagine there's a situation in the summer where, let's say potentially we're the only club that's really showing strong interest to sign Alaba. If that situation happens, is he going to get those demands he wants? Would we have to bow down to give them to him? Of course not, and this is the beauty of just biding your time and assessing how things play out. So I really do feel like this story is only going to continue. And now we move on to the final story today, and that's in regards to Declan Rice. Now, a big report was released today by Nizar Kinsella from Goal.com where he detailed some of the transfer dealings happening at the club right now. Now, of course, we already know that the club do not want to sell Hudson-Odoi at any cost. Now, is this necessarily putting off Bayern Munich? Potentially not, because they do have Douglas Costa, but at this point in time, they don't know if they're going to make that signing a permanent or assess and wait to see other options that become available in the market. Now, with the long-term interest that Bayern have shown in Hudson-Odoi, would it be a surprise if they came in the summer to make a move to sign him? I don't think so. But at the same time, do I feel necessarily nervous? No. I feel like Hudson-Odoi understands the situation right now. He understands that he effectively missed out on a year of development last season due to suffering that terrible injury under Sarri's season. So I think personally it's good for him to play in these cup games, these European games, these less pressurized games, so he can focus on getting his full confidence back and being that player that we know he is. So that's the situation surrounding Hudson-Odoi. And this is my prediction for the January window. I feel like this is going to be dominated by players that we need to sell. Now, of course, with the Euros happening in the summer, this is a great opportunity to sell off players right now before their market values get affected even more. You know, right now, there's some players in our team, in our squads, that aren't getting the game time they're hoping for. And this is an opportunity now to make something happen for the players and for ourselves as well by cashing in on them. So players like your Jorginhos, players like your Emersons and your Alonsos, your Rudigers, your Tomoris, you know, we've got options. And it does feel like there's no priority sales in the sense that, okay, let's say you've got Alonso and Emerson. Let's say that clubs are showing interest in both players. However, you know, you can sell Emerson for, let's say, 20 million and you'll get maybe 12 million for Marcos Alonso. You'd imagine that maybe Emerson would be sold on just due to that net value and obviously cost more money. So I do feel like departures are definitely going to be affected by who can actually get sold in this window. So the great thing about this, if we can raise the funds, reports are suggesting that we still feel confident from our ridiculous summer spending, and we want to continue that confidence and carry it into the future. So we've already heard the report suggesting that Declan Rice could be our player in January. We already know that Declan Rice wants to sign for us. We know so many things surrounding this story. What we don't know at this point in time though is how much money do West Ham want for Declan Rice? And the other question is Rice needed at this point in time, considering that N'Golo Kante is the best CDM in the country, and with how effective we've been as a 4-3-3 team, you know, where necessarily would Declan Rice get the game time now if he was to sign for us? So for me, I feel like with this Declan Rice situation, we can afford to be patient again. I feel like we can afford to take our time. I feel like we have to give time to Gilmour to see what he can do now after he picked up his Man of the Match award in the last game. He's a player of promise. He's a player that's shown that he understands the system and he can help elevate the midfield as well. So we have options, we have talent. And if Rice is going to cost 60, 70, 80 million, you want to feel like there is a proper plan to use him. At this point in time, I feel, even for myself, that I'd have to just assess the season a bit longer, just to really decide if Rice is really needed. But I know it's kind of controversial. In the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions. And you guys, on that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. I'm the EFC, this is Blue Line CV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.